In this video, planning and configuring service applications in SharePoint 2013. Provisioning a managed metadata service application with central admin. So the first task I'm going to do is I'm going to create a service account to run the managed metadata service. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new account. And then I'm going to do is SP general password will be my usual test password. That's always standard for these. Of course, password never expires and users can't change it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to configure the state service. I'll get onto the SharePoint machine. I'm going to get it to the SharePoint management shell. Of course, if I can't find it, I'll just type it here. Great. And remember, SharePoint management shell is PowerShell with SharePoint module loaded. So now I'm going to run some PowerShell commands on here. Great. Now I'm going to close the management shell. I need to wait 10 minutes. So I've created the service account. Then I just configured the state service in PowerShell. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to register the service account as a SharePoint managed account. Next thing I'm going to do is here, I'm going to go to Central Administration. And one of the things I want to do with my infrastructure, I want to notice here that it says firewalls public, it doesn't say domain. So I need to do is on this, this is just peculiar to a Hyper-V and these kind of virtual environments in here. So I needed to see a domain profile on here. And it will say on this one, eventually domain profile. See how it says contosa.com. I'm going to do this on the other ones, on my SQL server. I'm going to also do it on my SharePoint server too. Make sure. Should have done this before I got started. This is domain, but the firewalls is public, not domain. That tells me that it's not a domain profile. Just to avoid any issues, it's just best if I do this. And I'll see it here. And it should see it says Contosa. Fantastic. I'm going to do the same thing with the SharePoint. Okay, so we go in here. Good, this says domain, so I know if I go here, it'll say Contosa. Fantastic. What I'm going to do is this. So now on this right here, I'm going to go into Security, General Security, Configure Managed Accounts. And I'm going to register Managed Account. Now under the username right here, I'm going to say Contosa SP General MMS. And of course the password that I've been using, all these ones right here. And I'm going to go down Say OK. Fantastic. And the next task I'm going to do is I'm going to start the Managed Metadata Web Service. Central Admin, your System Settings, Manage Services and Server. I'm going to locate the Managed Metadata Web Service. And I'm going to start it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new Managed Metadata Service Application instance. On a new tab here, I'm going to go to HTTP. I'm going to go to SharePoint.kentoso.com. I'm going to log in as administrator and password, of course. Administrator and password. So now under Settings, Site Settings, Site Collection Administrator, Site Collection Features, Content Type Syndication Hub. I'm going to activate it. So now it is active. Now I can close the current tab. And I'm going to go back to Application Management and under Service Management, Manage Service Applications. And I'm going to a new Managed Metadata Service. So this is Kentoso General Managed Metadata. A database name. Kentoso General SDB. I'm going to go down. I'm going to create new application. On the configurable list, I'm going to make sure the one I created in here. Great. Now it comes up. On the Content Hub, I'm going to go to SharePoint.kentoso.com. And then I'm going to click on, I'm going to get rid of that comma there. No comma. Click on OK. Okay, so great. Now let's go back to the screen here. The next thing I'm going to do is to verify that the service application was provisioned successfully and add terms to the store. I'm going to click on this Kentoso, this is the one I created. Now I don't see it. I'm going to try to reload it. It may not have started yet. Great. After refreshing it, now it's came up. Now the taxonomy store. I want to make sure that it has the default term set: people, search dictionaries, and system. Now if it wouldn't have, I would have tried to reload it again. I'm going to expand people and click on department. I'm going to create a term. I'm going to call this marketing. I'm going to do is create one more, sales. Actually, if I would have pressed enter on that one, see, notice how it comes to another one. I could have done this there, actually, and just created it there. So I've enabled, provisioned, and configured a Managed Metadata Service application by using the central administration. So next, provision a Managed Metadata Service using PowerShell. So I'm going to create a service account to run the Managed Metadata Service instance. Now I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to the DC. Now I'm going to PowerShell. I'm going to create a new AD user using PowerShell. Now I'm going to do some more. Let's see what I did if I have a typo. Actually, I need to do it line by line. I was trying to do it too much at once to save time. No shortcuts here. I'm going to do password here. So it's going to ask me actually for a password here. Should. And now one more PowerShell. So I've set the password to password. Now I'm going to actually enable it with PowerShell. PowerShell is very useful. One more here. So remember how when I created those ones and we said that when I did using the AD center and it said password never expires and that they can't change the password? Well, this is the same thing in PowerShell. Now the next thing I'm going to do is register the service account as a SharePoint managed account. I'm going to go to the SharePoint machine here. I'm going to also on here have the management shell. There's some more PowerShell. And I'm going to create a new managed account. This password in here is a little different. I decided to make this one different. Okay, it's capital PASSW0RD exclamation. Get the managed account. So these are all these managed accounts. Now the SP sales MMS has appeared. Great. The next thing I'm going to do is create a new Managed Metadata Service application instance. I can do a little bit more PowerShell. I'm going to try to do this one, to paste this one in, but this is kind of long and may give an error because it's Sometimes with 3 lines. Okay, seems to work. That one works. I got one more. Do another command here. So new metadata service application proxy. Great. Okay, so that's created that. And Managed Metadata Service application proxy. So now I'm going to go to Central. Hopefully. And I'm going to go under Application Management, Managed Service Application. I'm going to verify that there are 2 Managed Metadata Service instances in the list. So we have Contoso General Managed Metadata, and we have Sales Managed Metadata in there. So Sales. So I've enabled, provisioned, and configured a Managed Metadata Service application by using PowerShell. The next thing I'm going to do is configure service application for document conversion. So the first thing I'm going to do is start the required service. So under Central Admin, System Settings, Manage Service and Servers, I'm going to go to Word Automation Servers. I'm going to start it. And PowerPoint afterwards. And PowerPoint. Then Document Conversion Load Balancer and Launcher. On the launcher ones here, I'm going to have it on SP1, good. Because the other one's because it's a load balance service. I'm going to pick SP1, say OK. Good, now it's started. Next thing I'm going to do is create a service account to run the Word Automation Services app. I'm going to go to the DC. I'm going to new AD user. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a password, a new password, $, password. Then I can enable the account after the password is set. A few more commands. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to register the service account as a SharePoint managed account. So on the SharePoint, the management shell, and enter in, and the capital PA SSW0RD exclamation. I'm going to verify. The account is there. SP Word automation, good. It's there, so it has been corrected and created. Now, next thing I'm going to create an automation services application instance. As soon as this is done, I'm going to type SharePoint Central Admin on Application Manage, Manage Service Application, Contosa Word Automation Service, and the proxy connection. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a service account to run the PowerShell conversion services. Back on the DC. Good that I've had the AD PowerShell still open. Set the AD account password, and I'm going to enable the account. So I've enabled AD account. Now that I set the password. So set that there. Change password and login false. Great. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to register the account as a SharePoint managed account on the SharePoint machine. Manage account. I'm going to verify that the account was created. And as you can see, SP PowerPoint conversion was created. The next thing I'm going to create a PowerPoint conversion services application instant. And then new SP PowerPoint conversion service application Proxy. So I've created 2 of them. Now I'm just going to do is verify like usual that they've created. And we'll just see that they're there. Now I should see the PowerPoint conversion. So as you can see, the PowerPoint conversion, I have the Connect Conversion Proxy was also created. Now the next thing I'm going to do is enable document conversions on the SharePoint Contoso and Sales Contoso web applications. Now I'm going to go into General Application Settings, External Service Connectors, and I'm going to configure document conversions. Now web application, it says SharePoint. Good. Okay, good. So SharePoint in there. Enable document conversion for the site. Yes. Load balancer. SP1. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change web application to sales. Enable document conversion and set the load balancer. Great. So I provision document conversion service apps by using PowerShell and configure them services by using the SharePoint 2013 Central Admin site. So the next thing I'm going to do is configuring service application proxy groups. So first I'm going to create a new service application proxy group named General. I'm going to go to the management shell. Get rid of that little typo. Get service application proxy. So I've created one called General, and I've gotten the proxy. Now the one that I created, service proxies appear in the list. Remember this? PowerPoint conversion, all these other proxies. Add application SB proxy group member. And the next thing I'm going to do is here, I'm going to create a new service application proxy group of sales. So now I've added cells in here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to map proxy groups to web applications. Service applications. Configure service application associations. And I'm going to click on SharePoint. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, and I'm almost done, verify managed metadata term set associations. I'm going to go to SharePoint. Settings, site setting. Web designer galleries. Site columns. Create. I'm going to call this Managed Metadata. Click on this, Manage Metadata. Now under this right here, now Contoso General Managed Metadata should be at the root of this. So I clicked on this Manage Metadata, and under here, under the term settings, this is the root node right here, see? Now I'm going to go to sales.contoso.com. Administrator. PASS.0RD. Under site settings, web designer gallery, site columns, create. Manage metadata. I'm going to look down here under term settings. It's not enabled for this column type, so I got to check. Great, so I just refreshed it, clicked on this, Managed Metadata, and now this time it found the Contoso sales. Managed Metadata. Now the next thing I'm going to do is verify document conversion config. Under Site Settings, Site Actions, Manage Site Features, SharePoint Publishing, so that was just to clarify Site Settings, Site Administration, Site Collection Features, SharePoint Server Publishing Infrastructure, activate it. And we go back to Site Settings, Site Actions, Manage Site Features. I'm going to SharePoint Server Publishing. Activate it. Oops. I'm going to go to Documents. Conversion test. Oops. I'm going to do is convert documents from Word document to a web page. Call this annual report. I'm going to create. Now, this is expected behavior. The 5 embedded images in the document were not preserved in the HTML. I'm going to publish it. There we go. The document was made into a Word page. You can even try clicking on some of these here. See what it does. There's no guarantee this is going to work though. So this is concluded configuring service application proxy group. So I've created 2 proxy groups and associated each of them with a web application. I've tested that these associations are working correctly, and I've demonstrated Word document conversion to a web page.